Hey everybody, it's Chris, and I am somewhat unfortunately here today to tell you about Gran Turismo for the PSP. It very much pains me to say this because I'm a huge fan of the franchise, but Gran Turismo on the PSP is not nearly as good as I and many other people were hoping for. The idea was basically to make a game that you can, cater into the PSP, pick up and play at any time, maybe earn a couple cars, then shut it off and go on and come back again later. Unfortunately, that did not work out. While the driving mechanics that we all know and love are there, it's basically the presentation that holds this game down, so let's get into that. Now, when you're at the main menu for the game, you have two main things to choose from. You have single player and challenges. Challenges are basically the license tests that have been in every Gran Turismo since the dawn of the sun. Your other option is single player, which is not a career mode. It is just a quick race, or a quick, drift trial, or a time trial. But the thing is that there is no career mode here. There's not a career mode whatsoever. That slow grind that Gran Turismo was actually great for is not here. Now, as far as the challenges, all that's pretty much exactly what we had seen before, but I beat all 102, and I didn't get anything for it. Now, one thing that is cool about the presentation, and kind of the reason for the whole game, is that you can share your cars. There are, give or take, about 800 cars in the game, and all of them are either marked as shareable or tradable. The problem is, on any given day, because the game kind of goes on by days, you can only buy cars from 4 manufacturers. And day to day, those change what they are, so I have still yet to be able to buy a car from Ferrari, which kind of sucks because I love Ferrari. But the thing that's bad is that once you buy a car and you go into the manufacturer thing, it is not clear that you already own the vehicle. You have to click on it, look at the details, and then it tells you how many of those cars that you already own. Now, one nice thing about the title and things that Gran Turismo is usually sold for is that it looks really good. It's not the best looking game on the PSP, but it does look nice. It looks like maybe a step down from Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2, and given that this is the PSP, that's actually very good. There is a cockpit view for every car, although the actual interior of the cockpit is all blacked out to just kind of give you the outline. Presentationally, from the visual standpoint, it looks nice. Now, the big thing about the graphics is that the game runs at 60 frames a second, so it drives very smoothly. Everything is crisp and clean in terms of that department. So, the game drives, I would say, a lot like Gran Turismo 4, and that's give or take about how this drives. There's no damage or anything like that, as you might expect, but the game does drive well. In terms of AI, we're not really seeing anything new here. Somewhat unfortunately, the computer still basically drives on a line. It's been worse in the past, but it certainly could have been better. And again, in a lot of the things that you're doing in the game, the challenges, you're not actually racing against anybody. There's stuff where you have to pass them, and so the fact that they are driving on lines means that they're consistent. And then now the last cool thing about the game is that it does have 4-player ad hoc racing, but the ad hoc is basically as basic as it gets. You just jump in there, you do a race. What's cool is everybody wins money, so you can buy more cars, but you're not kind of working through a season or whatever. You just do one race at a time. So on the whole, Gran Turismo for the PSP, like I said, is a quite disappointing release. If you're a huge Gran Turismo fan, the experience of driving and stuff is still in there, but you lose the point of having to build up cars and upgrade them and buy new stuff. So that, to me, is hugely disappointing. But if you just want to get in there and race, and especially if you want to do ad hoc racing, then that's all fun and that works well. But the presentation of not having a career mode, having it hard to tell what cars that you've already bought, especially since this is a collection game, just did not come together very well. And for me, this is a very disappointing title. For the full written review, head over to IGN.com.